Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome. We've made it. Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I am Dr. Kush. You may be noticing something. That thing that you may be noticing is we are unlive. We are not live. We are here with a recorded show. So if you are wondering why you are having some sort of disconnect with me, why am I not answering your question about the difference between Luxardo Maraschino liqueur and Luxardo Maraschino liqueur, well, you will then know that is the issue. But it's fine. We're all together, and I imagine I'm in the chat. So you asked me there. Today we are going to be talking about evolving cocktails that sort of evolve through time, and when different people are able to get their hands on cocktails and how that sort of changes. We're going to be doing this with a tiki drink. Why? It's Tiki Tuesday. It is currently, I think you can check your calendars. It is Tiki Tuesday. We're going to be doing the tiki drink. It is also going to be an evolution of a punch, which I thought after the summer that we had, we would not be going back into punches. But we're not going to get too deep into what the punch part of it is. I want to get into the evolution of kind of a cool cocktail, and that is called, this drink we're making today is called the HELEN the Pacific. Like my grandmother's name, HELEN the Pacific. There is another cocktail, a very lovely cocktail, called HELEN the Pacific. Hell in the Pacific. It's created by Jeffrey Beachcomber Berry. There's another drink that goes before that. It's called the Myrtle Beach Punch. We have made both of those last two. We've made the Hell in the Pacific, and we have made the Myrtle Beach Punch on this show at other times. And the Myrtle Beach Punch, of course, just more or less, I mean, really, if we think about it, it comes from the Planter's Punch. Comes from the original Jamaican Planter's Punch. A little sour, a little sweet, a little strong, a little weak, a little spice. It'll make it nice. But each of these people that has touched this drink has sort of expanded it. Not always does expanding a cocktail make it better, but in this case it is. I'm going to try and think in the next couple weeks about cocktails that got more succinct as they took out some ingredients to find. I'm sure if I thought about it for a second we could, but that's not what we're doing today. We're making a cocktail called HELEN the Pacific. It's created by a guy named Randy. I was going to do my very best to find a cocktail, to like make up a cocktail. But I decided better, let's stop it. Let's let somebody else do this. A guy named Randy Wong, bartender. One of them tiki bartenders. Jeffrey Beachcomber Berry, who created the Hell in the Pacific, bartender, tiki bar owner. I don't know what Randy's up to now, and the rest of them, so on and so forth. Now, the original. Oh, let me should I say hi to the people? Hello. Nobody's there. Hello. Let me just take a couple guesses. I'm just gonna guess one or two. Hello, Bonbon. Heyo, David. Maybe he's there. Maybe he's not. Good evening, Shawnee Panda Baker. DC David Clark, winner of the 2023 Kush Tucky Derby. Stephanie Michael, winner of the 2024 Kush Tucky Derby. Tiki Tom, I saw his ice stamp. Good work. And the rest of you. Listen, I don't know who's here. I don't know who's here. Let's get into this cocktail. All right, so we are going to be expanding upon a basic structure of the Planter's Punch, and we're just going to be sort of expanding this one out. But we don't need to start back there. We'll start with the Myrtle Beach Punch. Very simple. You look at the Myrtle Beach Punch, it is lime, it is cherry brandy, it is Jamaican rum, and it is sugar syrup. So really all we did was took the original version of the Planter's Punch, added some cherry to it. Well, now we're talking cherry. Okay, Jeffrey Beachbum Berry, he wanted to talk some cherry. Berry talking cherry. Did we decide if cherry's berries? Is this a conversation we're going to have every time, or am I going to learn it eventually? I don't know if a cherry is a berry. Either way, Jeffy, Berry, talking cherries, decides to swap out the cherry brandy, flies in some other stuff, flies in a little bit of maraschino liqueur, which is also a cherry brandy, sort of. It's a cherry liqueur, sort of. It's its own kind of thing. That's better. That's what it is. It's its own kind of thing. He also swaps out the simple syrup, sugar syrup, they call it, for some grenadine. That's a good way to do it. Very, very simple swap. And a lot of people think, you know, when you say, can I have a cherry Coke? They put grenadine in there. Sometimes you're happy with that. Two different things. Grenadine is pomegranate. Anyway, our friend Randy Wong got a hold of this and said, ugh, yuck. Fun experiments. If you want to wait till after the show, put in Hell in the Pacific and see what the first thing that comes up. For me, it was a Reddit post that said, Hell in the Pacific, a terribly unbalanced drink. That's rough. You don't want to hear that about anything. I don't want to hear about not even just drinks. This guy over here, this Cushman guy, terribly unbalanced. I'm not getting a job like that. Anyway, terribly unbalanced. So our friend Randy decided he was going to start stacking more stones upon it to see if he could find a way to make this thing balance out. And so we're going to make it. I'll be very honest with you guys. I've never made this cocktail. I don't know what it's going to taste like, but I want to see what the Hell in the Pacific does when it becomes the Hell in the Pacific. Are we good? Okay. Two different rums in this one. The original Hell in the Pacific is just one rum, 151 rum. That's a lot of rum. 151. We're going to split that up a little bit. We're going to bring in two different flavors of rum. So we'll start somewhere else. We'll start over here with our good friend El Limo. How do you say lime in Spanish? Limón. How do you say lemon in Spanish? Limón. Muy similare. Muy. Maybe mucho. I don't know when to use those two differently. Go ahead and grab your lime right here. We're going to slice it the way we slice. We know the drill. Slice it over here. Find that center. Ooh. I was at my brother's bachelor party this whole weekend, and my voice is gone. He has very loud friends. We're just going to go ahead and squeak that. And we got it. We have our lime bits that we want to use. This is a full lime cut up the right way. We need 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Normally that means that I'm going to grab 3 of these little pieces. I can usually take a guess and say that I can get about 1/4 of an ounce out of each of these little guys. That isn't always the case. So because this is not our cocktail, this is somebody else's cocktail, we are going to try and measure this as well as possible. So we're going to squeeze these guys into here using our fingies. Get your fingers in there. Make sure that you are deep underneath the rim of this guy. So that's, of course, you are getting all the juices that are flying, not just down, but also up and around, and all the oils are hanging out there. Squeeze this. Obviously, a lot of factors in how a lime juices. We'll see how we did. Real close. That's 1/2 ounce. We do want that extra 3/4 or extra 1/4, so we're going to go ahead and squeeze this last little bit in here. For the first time when I'm making a cocktail, it's important people put their, They put their R&D, they put their research and development into figuring out the best possible way to make a cocktail. If they're saying 3/4 of our good friend Randy, friend of the show, if he says 3/4, we're going to do 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and put in 3/4 of an ounce of some lime juice. Seems like we're going the opposite way, but I wanted to measure it. Okay. To make the Helen the Pacific, we would just need maraschino liqueur and some grenadine. To make the Helen the Pacific, it's going to be really annoying the whole time that he named it the same thing with just a slightly different, cuter spelling. To make the Helen the Pacific, we need a number of other things. So let's start with what we do need, what we need to have over here. This is our good friend maraschino liqueur. This is the Luxardo brand. Luxardo is one of those, just those big fat companies that does a lot of cool stuff. They have a few other things, but they have cherries, very expensive cherries. They're like, can we check? Is Luxardo just a cherry company? They do a lot of cherry stuff. This right here, though, Luxardo maraschino liqueur. We need half an ounce. Half an ounce of Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Now, to be fair to this stuff, which I love, I have had it as a Halloween costume in the past. We are borderline too much maraschino liqueur in this drink. Borderline. Not too much yet. I would never, ever in my life put more than 3/4 of an ounce of maraschino liqueur in any cocktail. Any single cocktail, 3/4 of an ounce. That's just a rule I try not to break. So when we're getting to a half an ounce, we're starting to, teeter. Stuff is strong. It will lift you over its head if it gets a chance. We need half an ounce of some Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Or is Paul here? Paul, let me just give Paul his little... Wow! Maraschino. Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Half an ounce. Nope. Here. Perfect. 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 We got that. We are also going to be putting in some grenadine. Sticking with the original recipe so far. A little less grenadine, but grenadine nonetheless. This is our grenadine. We make grenadine homemade in this bar because it is better. Although I haven't tried this stuff yet. I have not. I had mixed reactions on some of the B.G. Reynolds things. I really liked some of them. I thought the other ones were mixed. Technically, they're all mixed. They are mixed drinks. Technically, that's what you're looking for. But I thought some of them were medium. We're going to go ahead and put, now from here on out, we're doing a lot of quarters. So if you don't have a jigger that has quarters in there, get one. I don't. Is there another thing you can do? Maybe. Half an ounce is a tablespoon. So maybe you want to go by tablespoons. You do half a tablespoon. That should give you a 1/4 ounce. Or else just get a jigger with some 1/4 ounces in it. We need a 1/4 ounce of some grenadine. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Now, without knowing our friend Randy Wong, we can tell that this guy has spent some time with Tiki. Because the next two sweeteners he's deciding to bring into this cocktail, these are Tiki sweeteners. There is no doubt about it. I understand that there is falernum in other things. There are cocktails that are certainly not Tiki cocktails that have falernum in them. Please do not ask me to name one right now. Cannot think of one. But there are. There has to be. There is one. Trust me. And we are also going to be reaching for, not necessarily always a Tiki ingredient, but we are going to be reaching for some allspice dram. This is allspice dram. This is St. Elizabeth's allspice dram. I thought, like when you think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, etc. I really did think that when they said allspice, it was all the spices, or at least all the ones that they had access to at one point. It's just one berry. Just one berry called the allspice berry. We're going to be putting in a little bit of allspice. This is Christmas in a glass. Be careful with this stuff. Unless you love Christmas. If you love Christmas, then be reckless with this stuff. Chug this stuff. Put this stuff into an IV bag. Get it right into your heart, like that scene in Pulp Fiction. It'll take all of your Grinchy moments away. This is Christmas in a bottle. But for this, we are not looking for a Christmas cocktail. No, we are looking for a Helen the Pacific that comes from the Helen the Pacific. This comes from Myrtle Beach. This comes from the Planters Punch. We need a 1/4 ounce of some allspice dram. If, and only if you want this, you want to do a, like even a more Jamaica feel for this cocktail, you can get some pimento dram. I believe that Hamilton's does a very good one. I know that Hamilton's is a good one. I believe it's good. They have a good one, but that will, it's not what the recipe calls for. So we're going to do that. This is another very tiki thing. This is classic of this bar. We have this much left of our falernum. We do not fill bottles back up. We let them die. We give them a proper burial in the blue bin, and then we go buy more. I don't, clearly, aesthetics is not my thing. So we're going to go ahead and grab, what's left of our falernum bottle? We need a 1/4 ounce of some falernum. Velvet, homemade, or just normal. But you need some falernum. We need a 1/4 ounce of that. Doing great. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on with this guy. Seems like we are... Seems like we have a lot of big flavors. Now, clearly, our friend Wong is not afraid of that. Clearly, our good friend Randy does not matter. It does not matter to him that there are 1,000 flavors going into this thing. If flavor is not your thing, totally understood. But, you know, for Randy it was. We are also going to be putting in some simple syrup. I personally think that this might be sweet enough. But we don't want to mess around with Randy's dream. This is our simple syrup. Keep it in Frank's Red Hot bottles so that we always know which one's our simple syrup. We need a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Oh, I'm missing my feet today. 1/4 ounce of that simple. And then we start mixing. So, you see my butt? I guess you guys don't really see anything there. What was I saying? Oh, mixing rums. Now we're going to mix some rums. In the Hell in the Pacific, it's one rum. It's a 151. It's a Demerara 151 rum. In the Hell in the Pacific, it is 2 rums. We're splitting our rum base. Okay, I like that. I'm in. One of these rums is going to be an agricole rum. One of them is going to be a 151 rum. Now, we can, of course, go with some Demerara rum. I'm happy to do that. We got some Lemon Heart 151. But I got a bottle over here I haven't used for a while, and I think it's probably time we bring it back. This is our Hamilton 151 False Idol. It is sponsored at this bar by the Apostle of Tiki. He is one of the apostolizers of Tiki, and I think that is important, and we honor that. So we're going to be using this, I believe, let's just see, what's in here? I mean, we're going to not read it. 85% Demerara rum from Guyana and 50% heavy-bodied Jamaica. Please stop it. This is exactly what we want. Find yourself a 151 that you like. We only need 3/4 of this stuff. But remember, it's almost double what a normal rum would be. So putting in 3/4 of this stuff is basically, the ABV at least, is basically like putting in 2 shots of a regular rum, 40% rum. We're going to go ahead and put in 3/4 of an ounce of some delicious, delicious, and high-proofed 151 rum. I watched my friend Brian. He's the rum champion, he calls himself. Apparently, he got his name. He told me this. I don't know if maybe I shouldn't tell you. You know what I'm gonna tell you. What are you gonna do? Sue me? He got his name. He tells me from Game of Thrones. And I don't, he looked me in the eye. Somebody said, why do you call yourself the rum champion? And he looked, I was listening to the conversation. He looked him dead in the eye. He said, "It's from Game of Thrones." And he gave no further explanation. That was it. He just expected us to know what the hell that meant. Anyway, he's always going on about, oh, you know, everybody loves these high-proof rums. Everybody's always looking for high-proof rums. I'm not always looking for high-proof rums. I like a sipping rum normally. That's my kind of thing. But I came about this all the way through. I came into Tiki and rum in general through a back door somehow. I was doing that classic bartending and stumbled into Tiki. I never worked at a Tiki bar. We know the story. This right here is our good friend Rum Agricole. Rum Agricole might be, probably is my favorite rum. This is what I like. I really, really enjoy like the Agricoles. I like that really grassy feel. Makes me feel good about myself. Makes me feel like I've accomplished something. You know, it's like my brother, when he was younger, I learned this story this week, once tried to eat 4 Chipotle burritos and then go on on a 1 mile run in 8 minutes. He did not make it, turns out. He only got through 1.5 burritos, but then decided to still run. This is how I feel drinking this. I feel like I've accomplished something. I learned a lot about my brother this weekend, and it's going to change our relationship a little bit. This right here is some Rum Agricole. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some Rum Agricole, aged or white. I only have white, so we're doing white. But if you got aged, that might help it out. Excellent. And that's that, my friends. We have expanded from using just the lime, the cherry, the rum. Did I say the lime? Lime, cherry, pomegranate, and rum from the HELEN the Pacific. And now we've added more Tiki, I don't know, maybe these are badges. These are basically, you know, put in some falernum into a cocktail. That cocktail now has a falernum badge. Stick it on there, soldier. Get to the front. So this is the HELEN the Pacific. And it just has more stuff. Is more stuff always better? Not always. Is more stuff sometimes better? Certainly. Absolutely. Lots and lots of ice. Mucho, mucho helado. Por favor. I read about this cocktail, I'll tell you, from a blog that I enjoy very much. Probably my favorite blog about cocktails. It used to be called the Cocktail Virgin. And then eventually, when this person clearly became an absolute expert for making every single cocktail they come across, changed their name to the Cocktail Slut. So I believe they still call themselves the Cocktail Slut. It is on blogspot.com, Cocktail Virgin. But I think you look up Cocktail Slut, you'll have an easier time finding it. Anyway, I found about this cocktail from there. So thank you. If Cocktail Virgin, Cocktail Slut is watching, I would love to have you on the show sometime. We're going to give this a shake. Smells nice. Smells nice. The allspice is there. No doubt. We're going to use the crushed ice in here. They suggest putting some crushed ice in here. But please, I'm a very, very small bar. I get to have one type of ice a night. Am I using big ice? Okay, I'll use big ice. We're using the crushy ice in here. If it makes that much of a difference, if I get to the end of this drink and I'm like, oh gosh, it would have been better with slightly more crushy ice, then I will change it. But pour this guy in here. That ice. And then we will get this going right there. Now that looks like a fun drink. Can't say that's pea colored. Oh. This one doesn't even need the spinner. It spins on its own. I don't have a flash. Oh, you know what? I'll put a little light on this. Ooh. We're going to win an award eventually. Most likely for cinematography. We're going to take, I'm sure there's a garnish that needs. I'm going to put a little pineapple, a dried pineapple there. Looks nice, I think. This right here, my friends, is the HELEN the Pacific. HELEN the Pacific. Not hell in the Pacific. HELEN the Pacific. That's what we got. Immediately take out the garnish, throw it at the bartender as if he has offended me. I'm going to give it back to him. He can't use that, so now he just has to throw this away. So now that we got this right here, just going to pass that back to the bartender. I don't want that, thank you. Thank you for taking the time, for putting that into my drink and thinking about that and, creating a concept. Thank you for that. I'm now throwing it away. As all things should be. Now we're going to sip this guy. This is the HELEN the Pacific, created by a guy named Randy Wong. I don't know much more about him. Hard to find. I don't know if he's hiding. If Randy Wong wants to come out and tell me I did something wrong, I will listen to Randy Wong. But only Randy Wong. I don't take notes from other people. Cheers. Wow. That is delicious. That is big. Okay. We're going to run this down real quick. Star of the show, Agricole rum. Agricole wasn't in the original one. I love that the Agricole is in here. Allspice dram, heck yeah. Oh, baby. I love it. The lime makes an appearance, absolutely. Really, the 151, kind of subtle, hanging out. The grenadine just, at what do we do? A quarter ounce, it's not there. Ooh, maraschino liqueur. Let me look for it. It's there. Subtle. It's good. This is a flavor bomb. If you are one of my favorite drinks on planet Earth, easily, and I will take as much, you can throw as many tomatoes at me as you want. Cranberry vodka. I love it. I love just a vodka cranberry. You know why? I never have once ever thought about a cranberry vodka. I don't care what proportions you put it in. You want to put it in, 1 ounce of vodka and 18 ounces of cranberry, I will still drink that. You want to do 3 ounces of vodka and a splash of cranberry, I will drink that. I absolutely will drink that. And have. Probably recently. This is not that. This is the exact opposite of that. This is a real flavor bomb, a big thought-provoking cocktail. This, I think, very nice. It is an evolution from the Planter's Punch into the Myrtle Beach Punch into the Hell in the Pacific to the HELEN the Pacific. Really nice. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. And if you are tiki bartenders yourselves, you should have at least some of this stuff. So experiment with it. If you guys get a chance to make this one, let me know what you think. I'm putting it back on you. I'm Philly DeFranco in this thing. That's a YouTube guy. I'm trying to learn YouTube, guys. Putting it back on you. You tell me. What do you think about this cocktail? In the meanwhile, this week has gotten all higgledy-piggledy. You notice that I'm not here live. I'm just doing this completely neurotically from the back, or from the bar currently. And I will also not be here Thursday. So I am going to do my very best, barring any kind of full governmental shutdown or we've had rolling blackouts where we are recently. Barring any of that, we will be back here tomorrow for you guys. Wednesday. We'll be doing a Wednesday show for you. And then we'll be back on Saturday to do another show. USC isn't even playing that weekend. So I will have plenty of time to concentrate on this show. That is what I got for you. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Highly recommend the HELEN the Pacific by Randy Wong, RW. And if Randy wants to tell me that I'm doing something wrong, Randy Wong is more than welcome. I think we've done it. I think we've completed the show. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And let's hang out some other time. Until then, what do we always say?
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye, my friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.
drink with us. Have a drink with us. Have a drink with us.
The cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
I know.
I don't